the very first thing that was brought up that you guys wanted us to address are senior leader policy letters, memos, emails that get sent out, not ones that are leaked or anything like that, but just ones that, there was recent ones that some of the major commands had put out, and that some of Air Force leadership and DoD really had put out. And it's not a matter of whether we agree with them or not, because and we've said it before, there are things that the special warfare community does, SOCOM, the Air Force, the DoD, that none of us agree with. Like there are certain aspects of some of it. Yeah. We're like, yeah, absolutely. In fact, most of it, we probably are like, yeah, sure. But there are things that we just like, it's like anybody else, whether it's your own family members, your own friends, your work colleagues, like they're just things that you don't agree with. But that's what it is. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think people from the outside looking in put too much weight in these things. Like they look at these letters and then they apply like all of this like gravitas and all of this like important stuff. And, first of all, you got to remember, the senior leaders are just people. Yeah. So these letters and these policy letters, sometimes it's good policy. Sometimes they're just trying to put out policy. Like the fact that they're willing to at least write their signature block under some things that they want to get after, whether it's a mission statement, whether it's a vision. And this happens all the time. We got asked about a specific policy letter and they were like, hey, how did you guys feel about this? And I was like, I don't know, the same that I feel about the 16 other letters just like this that I get every year that they give to the force, from whether it's the AFSOC commander or the chief of staff of the Air Force, or your individual group commander. Your own commander will send these things out to the unit. Like no kidding, in this week I got like 4 of these, and that's not an exaggeration. It just, it's the summer PCS turnover season. People are changing different levels of command, so each commander is going out there with their senior enlisted leader, and they're like, hey, what do we value? What do we want to get after? Are there any things wrong that we want to fix? Are there any things that are right that we want to continue? And then they put that out to the force. That's how we do stuff. People seem to think every time this, any senior leader puts something out, that the force is like, oh, have you seen this? Yeah. And it like rockets around the career field, and then everybody talks about it. Like, guys, it really just doesn't matter that much, right? And, I said it on the Discord, but I'll say it here too. When you ask us these things, and this is like breaking the fourth wall, right? You got to remember, like, Peaches and I are people, right? Like, we're regular humans. We're not smarter than you. We're not better than you. We've been in this thing longer than you. So we're older than most of you, or some of you, but there's really no win here. Like, if you ask us about a specific, like, let's say Chief Colon Lopez, he puts out something from his seat at the SEAC and it causes a big kerfluffle. Like, he never has. There's been things that he said that, got, news attention or whatever. Who cares? Right. Let's say he puts something out and you ask me to speak on that and I give my opinion on it. There is no win. There's no win on the internet for that. It's either me if I say I agree with it 100%, it's me sounding like a company man. You're like, oh, you can't agree with it 100%. Or if I say I disagree with it 100%, then you're like, oh, you just undermined your senior leader. Like, there's no win for us to speak on it, right? When anybody puts it out, and I'll keep using CZ because that's a safe space to, because he puts out level-headed advice and he speaks in plain language. And to his credit, CZ, and I said it on another forum somewhere, but CZ, to his credit, has always been very clear, very concise, and that dude really has not changed his posture throughout his entire career. He's willing to engage with you point to point. He is willing to get down to the tactical level and explain what he's doing. People may or may not agree with it, and I'm sure there are people that don't agree with it. And I'm sure there are people that have tons of bad things to say for a million different reasons, just like everybody always does. But really, these policy letters, it's really, it just is what it is. You take the good from it, you take the bad from it, and then somewhere in the middle there is some things that you can use to drive forward. Like, in the end, it's really much ado about nothing, right? So there's really not a whole lot of stuff that we would say, and it's not because like we're trying to protect our brand here on the podcast. It's really more just like I just really don't have an opinion.
Well, most of the time, these letters, honestly, like kind of peeking behind the curtain, they don't actually change things that much. It's not like, hey, we're putting out a policy and then it's to give intent, but if it is something drastic, so much stuff has to happen
before that. Yeah. By the time the letter comes out,
I mean,
the time
it's just,
that email comes out, there's like a year of stuff changer, and people know about it well before that.
At the quickest, a year. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, it's just it's not something to get hung up on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whether you like it or not, like so say it's a positive thing and you're just like, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start it now. You know, on Monday, let's kick this thing off. And it's like, no, dude. It's gonna be a little bit.
General Brown had accelerate, change, or lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was great. That was a great policy from a senior leader. And basically what he was saying is you continue forward, you make the change, or we're going to lose. You know what I mean? Like it was, and part of that in the, inside of that was he was talking about regulations, rules and regulations. And he was like, you either comply, you either waive it, or you change it. Those are your only options. Ignoring a regulation is not the way to do it. Like if you want to change it, if it's dumb, you wait, like, okay, fine. You delete it. We stop following that, but you go through the process of actually doing it. I did respect that.
Yeah. And so he, it was actually originally accelerate, change, or die, but
nice.
But his team thought that maybe it was a little bit aggressive. So
I wish it would. I wish it was.
So they walked it back.
I wish it was accelerate, change, or die. That's tight.
I mean, but again, it's still intent, and he's given intent to the force because you really don't want CQ Brown or CSAF to be getting into your chili about like, you will do it this way. And that's what the senior leaders of the Air Force and the DoD do. They are supposed to give intent, and that is commander's intent, and then you drive forward with that intent to make things happen.
Mission type orders. You give what, not how. You give guidance and intent, clear guidance and expectations, and then you go. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
so,
and even then, he lays it out pretty good in his accelerate, change, or lose. So if you guys haven't checked it out, I would definitely look it up. And then he also has a couple extra little tidbits in there too. So
right.